4/5 of what you do is actually irrelevant. I know, it's a jarring truth, but really understanding this is going to completely change how you view your own effort. In this explainer, we're unpacking Richard Koch's the 80/20 principle. If you're feeling overworked, burnt out, or just stuck on that endless treadmill of tasks, well, this is your way out. We're going to dive into exactly how you can use this principle to achieve exponentially more, whether that's boosting a company's profits or just winning back your own free time. You know, from a really young age, we've all been conditioned to believe this one specific logic: equal effort equals equal reward. We're taught that if you put in 100 hours of work, you'll get 100 hours worth of results. Think about school, right? Every hour studying supposedly translates directly into better grades. Or an hourly job where the time you punch in equals the money you earn. But honestly, in the broader world, this is a total myth. The world just doesn't operate on a perfectly even 50-50 scale. It actually operates on severe imbalance, meaning the vast majority of tasks you're spending your time and energy on are contributing very little to your actual success. And this brings us to a pretty brilliant discovery made by an Italian economist named Vilfredo Pareto way back in 1897. Pareto noticed a predictable imbalance right in his very own garden. Get this, he observed that just 20% of the pea pods contained 80% of the peas. Naturally curious, he applied this little math observation to economics, and he found that exactly 20% of the population owned 80% of the land in Italy. Whether we're looking at causes and consequences or effort and results, this universal asymmetry just always exists. A tiny minority of causes, just 20%, is responsible for a massive 80% of the results. Now, this isn't just some abstract economic theory. It's a universal law of nature that applies to virtually everything around us. For example, historically speaking, just 20% of criminals account for 80% of all crime. Take a look around your own home. You'll find that about 20% of your carpets get 80% of the wear and tear. But maybe the most incredible example is the internal combustion engine. 80% of the energy is completely wasted in combustion. Only 20% actually makes it to the wheels. Yet, that tiny 20% input generates 100% of the vehicle's forward motion. The universe literally favors this profound imbalance. Section 1. 80/20 thinking. Breaking the 50-50 myth. To actually take advantage of this reality, we have to completely dismantle our old view of the world. 50-50 thinking? That's the trap of the rat race. It assumes every customer is equally important, every task needs equal diligence, and that success only comes from running an exhausting, endless marathon. 80/20 thinking, on the other hand, asks you to be fiercely selective. It combines extreme ambition with a really confident, relaxed approach. You don't try to do everything. Instead, you intensely target the few vital leverage points that actually matter, and you just let the trivial rest fall away. To apply this, we basically use two different methods. First up is 80/20 analysis. This is precise, data-driven, and based on hard facts. It's what you use when you want to dive into a spreadsheet and measure exactly which products are yielding the most profit. But on the flip side, we have 80/20 thinking. This is broader, it's much more intuitive. It's the daily mental habit of constantly looking for unconventional shortcuts in your life. It means stepping back and asking yourself, okay, where is the hidden 20% that holds all the value here? It's a constant reality check on where your energy is actually going. Section 2. Corporate reality. Simple is beautiful. Let's take a look at how this imbalance completely dictates a company's success or its failure. It turns out a massive 80% of a typical company's products, customers, and overall efforts are actually dragging down their overall profitability. When you apply 80/20 analysis to a business, you almost always find that about 1/5 of the revenues account for 4/5 of the profits. So the vast majority of what a corporation actually does, it's largely a waste of energy. It just creates complex, expensive overhead that drains resources, time, and attention away from the real winners. Ultimately, complexity is a silent killer of profit. And sometimes, this concentration can be incredibly extreme. It isn't always exactly an 80/20 split. In some companies, a single product, representing literally just 1% of their total product line, generates 20% of the total profits. When you find a nonlinear relationship that is this powerful, it changes absolutely everything. A tiny fraction of effort generates astronomical returns, while the rest of the massive product catalog is just generating costly paperwork and storage fees. It really proves that you don't need to do more things to make more money. You just need to do more of the right things. So, to win in business, you have to realize that complexity is incredibly expensive, and you must ruthlessly simplify. The book outlines 3 exact steps for this. First, identify your top 20% of profit makers. Second, find the courage to ruthlessly cut the 80% of your business that is merely adding complex overhead. And yeah, it might feel completely counterintuitive to shrink your product line or let go of customers, but it's essential. Finally, step 3, multiply your winners. Concentrate all your investment and sales effort entirely on that highly profitable 20%. Simple really is beautiful, and a beautifully simple business is an immensely profitable one. Section 3, the time revolution, working less. This principle doesn't just dictate corporate profits, though. It completely dictates your personal happiness. So ask yourself right now, is your use of time unbalanced? Do you have a sense that just 20% of your time leads to 80% of your most meaningful achievements or your moments of pure happiness? If so, what you need isn't a better planner or some fancy new time management app. Time management just tinkers at the margins. What you actually need is a complete time revolution that fundamentally shifts exactly how you spend your days. Look really closely at your daily tasks. On one side, you've got high-value uses of time, things that advance your core purpose, working with brilliant collaborators or finding innovative shortcuts. On the other side, you've got low-value uses, things other people demand of you, tasks you aren't uniquely good at, or endless interruptions, like constantly checking your emails. To achieve more, you simply need to expand your achievement islands. Those are those rare, short periods where you produce exceptional value. And at the same time, deliberately eliminate the low-value tasks that are eating up the other 80% of your week. We also have to totally shift how we view time itself. Time is not just some straight line ticking away, constantly causing us stress. Instead, try viewing the future as an opportunity to carry forward the absolute best 20% of your past in your present. If you focus on nurturing the most valuable parts of your personality, your absolute strongest abilities, and your best friendships, the future becomes an amplified version of your best self. You stop worrying about managing every single minute, and you start maximizing the few moments that truly define your joy and your success. Section 4, Intelligent and Lazy, the Career Matrix. Let's apply this mindset to your career using a really fascinating framework from the military strategist General von Manstein. He categorized his officers based on 2 traits, how industrious they were and how smart they were. And he discovered a shocking paradox. To rise to the level of a top commander, you actually need to be smart and lazy. Now, lazy doesn't mean sitting around doing nothing. It means having absolutely zero tolerance for busy work. Smart, hardworking people often get bogged down in the details. They make good staff officers. But the smart and lazy individuals intuitively avoid that exhausting 80% of trivial work and focus entirely on the crucial 20% that actually dictates victory. To achieve that highly rewarding, smart and lazy status for yourself, you've got to follow this foundational advice from the author. Specialize in a very small niche. Develop a core skill. The 80-20 principle teaches us that the highest rewards in life go to those who are the absolute best in a very specific area. You must choose a narrow niche where you can easily excel, something you genuinely enjoy, and then just become the undisputed leader in it. Being exceptionally good at one narrow thing is far, far more valuable than being average at 10 different things. So there are a few golden rules to really guarantee this kind of career success. First, know more about your specific niche than anyone else. And then find a way to turn that knowledge into a valuable product or service. Learn directly by observing the absolute best in your field. Aim to become self-employed early on so you capture the full financial value of what you create, rather than just handing it over to a boss. And this is crucial. Outsource everything outside your core skill. Leverage your deep knowledge and other people's time to build a highly focused, highly rewarding career. Section 5, the ultimate takeaway. As we wrap up this explainer, let's distill all these insights down into one core philosophy. Progress requires simplicity. We really have to embrace the fact that scaling back, being fiercely selective, and flat out ignoring the trivial majority is the only true path to exponential success. Whether we're talking about a massive corporation bloated with unprofitable products, or just your own daily schedule packed with low-value obligations, complexity is the enemy. It drains your energy, it scatters your focus, and it completely hides your true potential. Keep this profound thought from Goethe in mind as you selectively edit your own life. Things that matter most must never be at the mercy of things that matter least. You now understand the predictable imbalance of the world. You have the tools to identify the vital few and eliminate the trivial many. So I want to leave you with this question to ask yourself today. What 80% of your current workload, habits, or mental clutter can you drop right now to finally achieve more?